What's up, y'all? Blackout The Rebel here, Bell to Bell podcast. If you're just watching this, more than likely you might have just saw the video that I shot covering what's going on with Speed. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to check that out. If you're not, I completely understand because I wasn't that interested in Speed either. I just tried to get into it, but save that for the video. So, right now, this video is going to be covering everything that's just taken place this past Wednesday on Evolve. I'm the only one in the group that seems to be trying to cover everything that's WWE related, and it's a hard task. I'm not gonna lie. Some of this is but anyway, we're doing Evolve, and I'm really glad that I do follow Evolve because it definitely helped the situation that I was in at R-Truth's listening party. That's a different video and different topic for another time, but definitely shouts to Ron Killings, aka R-Truth. That was an amazing event. So right now we are covering the first match, which is Marcus Mathers versus who again? Bryce Donovan. Yeah, Bryce Donovan's coming back from the Vanity Project. I feel like he doesn't really fit what they're trying to do. I mean, I guess every faction needs a muscle, but it has to coincide and go with what the theme is. Like, Raquel fits Judgment Day. Like, she wasn't a core member. She came later on, but she fits perfectly. You know what I mean? Bryce is just he just sticks out. You know, everybody else is, you know, that has like the fraternity thing going on. They're a bunch of douchebags. I get that. It just doesn't fit. He's a good wrestler, I think, but it just really is not clicking to me. I think they're gonna, if I was them, I think I would either change, work on his image and his personality more, or just dropping him altogether and maybe switching him with somebody else, if anything. In any case, what did I think of this match? We're not going to go frame by frame, clip by clip or whatever. Absolutely the hell not. Even though it's a short show, we're not doing that. Overall, what did I think of this match? I think it was cool. There was a couple of decent reversals and a lot of different moves and stuff like that. Marcus Mathers is he's talented. I give him that. But Bryce has a lot of strength and power to him. And I think that for the most part, that was his downfall, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, wait, how does this end again? I'm fast forwarding as we speak. That's why that's why my attention's looking over there. As usual, Vanity Project gets involved, of course. And Bryce Donovan actually does end up winning. Yeah, I'm watching the highlights now. It was a cool match. I mean, I think Vanity Project is really, they're great outside of the ring. Like, they have more personality than a lot of the people in that locker room. And every wrestling division needs a good heel faction. I wouldn't necessarily categorize them as heels. You know, they're different than like I said, they're different than Judgment Day. They're different than Bloodline. They kind of remind me of a combination between Pretty Deadly, Spirit Squad, and Chase U. If you get all of them rolled in together, that's what you pretty much have. So I think they're good. I think eventually I would like to see a tag team division, both men and women, for Evolve. And I would love to really see a mid-tier belt, but that's another conversation right now. That match just ended. So what we got right now coming up? This is, I probably should just YouTube this next time. Oh, so they have like a little beef going on with Gentala and Callie Armstrong and Tyra May Steele from LFG Season 1. And the way it's shaping up, I think this is going to end up being a triple threat, which I'm not mad at. We don't get a lot of those in Evolve. And I guess I can see it because Gentala has been the one who's been, you know, running up on all the women in the back. And now, she, tried to get the attention of Callie so she can get the championship title match. Tyra, of course, won I think it was the women's fatal four-way of Royal Rumble, whatever. And she ended up becoming the winner for that. So she rightfully has the contendership. So I think this is going to be interesting for them. I think, they definitely need some storylines to be developed and built. And this is a good one. I like it. I think this is a different Gentala that we're used to. I do love the fact that Tyra pointed out, like, bitch, you got eliminated the first season. Like, I'm the one who won. So fuck you doing here trying to be somebody. Like, I love that. I love that that was pointed out. So I think that's going to work really well. Next, we have Jamar Hampton versus Jack Cartwheel, I believe. Yeah. And this was a good match. This really showcased Jack, and like really showcased Jack in his element, because I believe this is his first singles match here in Evolve. Everything else has been tag team matches with his partner Cappuccino Jones. And the reason why I was talking about how it's a good thing that I watch Evolve is because when I was at the listening party for R-Truth, I was networking, socializing, and I was speaking to this guy. And, everybody has tag names, obviously. My government is not Blackout the Rebel. I hope y'all never thought that. So I was speaking to this one dude, and I was like, yeah, man, what's your name? And his man was like, yeah, that's my guy. That's Coffee right there. I was like, Coffee. I was like, all right, I respect it. Without a doubt, I was like, yeah, kind of like Cappuccino Jones. And immediately it clicked because he watches Evolve as well. He was like, see, yeah. He was like, yeah, we dripping and all that, like saying all the things that Cappuccino be saying. So it helps when you're really trying to immerse yourself. You never know when you're going to make connections and how that looks. So that was a nice little shared moment. Shout outs to my dude Coffee. I believe I have him in my in the Bell to Bells IG. Like I said, when we have the real podcast episode, I'm gonna make sure I have the list, screenshots. I'm gonna shout out everybody that showed love and that I networked with from the event. And yeah, but yeah, we're gonna get back to the match itself. The match itself is pretty good on on Jack Cartwheel's side. Jamar Hampton, it's really, I really am curious as to what they're going to do with his character, because what's going on right now is the same thing that was going on in LFG season 1. He doesn't have any charisma. He looks like the big muscular guy that had everything handed to him. He's a decent looking guy, extremely athletic, very strong, but when you have pretty much all of that going for you, it doesn't seem like you work hard for much. And it shows because there's no charisma, there's no personality there. There's no working of how they're trying to construct him. Like if you watch this match and you watch everything that led up to the match, like the little whatever they had backstage, it looked like this was going to be a highlight for Jack Cartwheel, not Jamar Hampton. So he's going to need some work outside of the ring, like crowd control, mic skills, vignettes. He's going to need that. Like that's always going to be his downfall. And it was a no-brainer to see Jack win this, just because number one, he's more over with the crowd. He's more known. Number two, he's actually way more athletic than I think people give him credit for. Like, it's not exactly just a joke when his name is Jack Cartwheel. Like, oh, he's going to do a bunch of cartwheels. No, this guy can go. He can do a lot of flips and acrobatics. He is somewhat technical. And watch right now as we speak, I'm watching him put a submission on Jamar Hampton. So he has the technicality. He has that there. And then he has the charisma and the personality as well. So if we're going by all of those all of that rubric, then yeah, that was a crazy reversal. That leg sweep reversal joint that he has, and he puts him into a leg lock after that. Yeah, like he's actually a really decently talented wrestler. Jamar, I think, is going to need a lot more work. I can understand why he didn't win the first season, but I'm not opposed to seeing him grow and progress. I think if he is able to figure out something that works for him, he's going to be a problem. I think once he's able to get all of the boxes checked off, he's going to end up being a really prime rival for Keanu Carver. Because right now, realistically, there's nobody that should be a problem for Keanu. He's a powerhouse. The only person that I think would have gave him a hard time and a problem was Harlem Lewis. But he dropped down in LFG as we speak right now. So I feel like the lane is completely open for him. They're putting him against people on a regular basis, but pound for pound, there's nobody here in this division that should be giving Keanu Carver any problems. Now, that's just being realistic. Now, we're going to move on. Jack Cargill ended up winning that match. And, are you even surprised? So, this next match is this is Sean Legacy versus Keanu Carver, speaking of the devil. And if I'm not mistaken, Keanu Carver ended up winning this. It was a couple of moments in time where it seemed like Sean was giving Keanu the business. But I feel like that was all a work because, like I said, realistically, there's nobody here that has the strength and the power and the tenacity and the intensity that Keanu does. Only person that was like that was Harlem. And I kind of get why Harlem did it, but I don't think that was a good decision for WWE. Like for Harlem to drop down and do LFG, kind of in a way, I think speeds up his path to NXT. If he stays down and Evolve, there's no telling how long it's going to take for him to ascend and go up there. But when you finish LFG, you're immediately going right to NXT. So for him, I see why it made sense. But if I was WWE, I would not let him go to LFG because you need somebody who's going to rival Keanu. And say what you want, but there's nobody there that should realistically be able to do it. Sean Legacy is a good person. He's a good wrestler, but he doesn't have it. I don't think there's anybody there that really truly does. I got to look at let me see if I can look at this at the list of wrestlers really fast. See if I can pull that up because I don't want to speak prematurely and somebody reads the comments and is like, oh, well, what about this person? And I'll just be stuck. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I forgot all about them. All right, so let's see. You got Anthony Henry, Bill Carr, Chris Dickinson, Beretta. A lot of these people who don't even get no time of day whatsoever. Yeah, can I get a little bit more of a thorough roster? Because they didn't even say all of the people, so that was weird. Come on. Nope, this ain't it. I don't even know what this is. That should look like Ring of Honor to me, honestly. Nope. All right, come on, stop making me look stupid out here. Let's do this. All right, there we go. Okay, so Brad Baylor, Brooks Jensen, Cappuccino Jones, Bryce Donovan. Bryce Donovan has the height, but I don't think he has nowhere near the intensity to be able to put up a good fight. Draco Knox. I'm not mad at it. I could see it. For the most part, it'll be a somewhat decent bout, but I don't see him coming out on top. Jamar Hampton, like I said, Keanu, Ridge Holland. Okay. Now we're working. We're getting somewhere. I could see a Ridge Holland feud between him. Sam Holloway looks like he has the size, but I don't think he's going to be able to overcome that. Trill London, no. No. You got Tate Wilder and Timothy Thatcher. Nope. Ricky Smoke. I don't really understand how Ricky. Anyway, is Ricky Smoke the champion? I believe he is. This one doesn't say who has the belt right now. It's just showing me pictures of the people. Oh, no, not him. I'm thinking of Jackson Drake. Okay, my bad. Listen, Jackson Drake and Ricky Smoke, I'm very surprised. I couldn't see either one of them being champion. But like I said, you need somebody, like a good faction has to have a belt. So for him being champion, it makes sense. But anyway, like I was saying, so yeah, as of right now, you have a kind of unstoppable force. Like, Keanu Carver is really going to be a tough person to beat. And you give it maybe another 2 months or so, I could see him definitely becoming champion, because what else can you do with somebody that big? And this will give a really good opportunity for a David and Goliath match, because nobody in that division can compare to him. So you can find anybody and, send that character over if they're not already over. You just got to find the right person who's ready. And in my opinion, who would be ready to take on that mantle if Keanu Carver was to become a champion and they would have to give it to somebody else? I'm already thinking down the line, as you can see. Oh, you got Idris Enofe. Okay. Cappuccino Jones. He's a name that stands out. And if you want to go the heel route, you can maybe do Gal. And then I would say that's kind of it. I think Trill needs to prove himself a little bit more. He needs a little bit more skin in the game. And possibly, maybe Shawn Legacy, but those are my picks for that. So that's my coverage for Evolve. As you can see, I have a lot more time here to be able to devote to it. So that's why I went more in depth. But this is Blackout the Rebel from Bell to Bell Podcast. Please stay tuned. I have another episode coming up that will discuss everything that's LFG. So, holla at y'all.